Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports Television. I'm your host, Gary Glenn. Well, it's a time of year for summer camps. Riverside Military, in fact, hosting a number of camps this particular time around, including the recent Fellowship of Athletes football camps. And among the many teams represented were a couple of local squads, East Hall and North Hall. The Vikings of Coach Brian Gray coming off a 6-5 season where they made the playoffs for the first time since 2005. The Trojans of Coach David Bishop hoping to improve on a 2-8 campaign. Well, I dropped by the Riverside Fields and talked to both of the coaches.
FCA puts on a camp like no other. We're excited to be here, and opportunity of our kids to get together and bond and fellowship is tremendous, tremendous camp.
How's the summer going for you guys?
Good, good. We've got at it. Our numbers are right around consistent, and our kids work hard. We got a lot of young kids that are figuring it out quick, and we're excited.
A little bit of success last year, a little taste of it, didn't it?
Yeah, we did. It's really the carried over, and our kids understand it takes another level of work and commitment, and they've got a lot of big shoes to fill from the kids that graduated, and they're up right now. They're showing the challenge, and I'm excited.
What can we expect from East Hall, the Vikings, this year?
We're going to make a lot of dumb mistakes at first, but I think we're going to grow pretty quick, and I know we're going to play hard. And I really think people are kind of looking at us as really young, but I think we're going to grow, and I think we're going to compete with people and be a pretty good team.
What's going to be where you hang your hat this year? What's going to be the strong
We need to
point?
be able to run the football. I feel real good about our offensive line and our running backs. And I think if we can run the ball, then I think we've got a real good chance to be successful. And the pass will start to catch up as these guys start to learn the routes and work on the concepts we have. And we're going to play. We're going to play hard.
Tell me about the summer for the Trojans so far.
Well, we started back in the second week of June, our Men of Summer program where we go 4 days a week, about 3.5 hours a day. Our kids have been working hard. We've had some 7-on-7s, and really throughout the whole summer we've gotten better in everything we've done. And then we've had a camp here, FCA camp, which has been great, not just for our kids for football, but also as a team. So, this closing out today, we've grown both as a team and as a football playing group.
Where have you seen the most improvement?
Well, we're still young. A lot of people don't realize that. They think, well, you got this many seniors, but a lot of those guys, they were starting for the first time last year or a backup. So right now, putting in a new offense, we're getting to see kids in positions they hadn't played before. So a lot of the new kids playing those new positions where I see a lot of the growth we've got.
New offense. What you got?
Well, it's somewhat of a new offense. It's a go back, throw back to our old offense. I felt like we needed to go back to the wing tee from the wishbone. Fit our personnel a little bit better and give us a little bit more depth that we needed.
Kim, fill in the blanks for me, because we're going to be pretty good at this, but we need to really get better at this.
I think we're going to be pretty good at defense. Our kids run to the ball hard. And, right now, we're going to get better at offense. It's, like I said, it's new. It's totally different than what we've been running for the last 3 years, so that's where we're going.
Now, there are plans for North Hall to host a 4-team football scrimmage coming up on August 14th at the Brickyard. Published reports note the 4 teams involved will be the host Trojans, as well as Flowery Branch, Gainesville, and Jefferson Forest High out of Virginia. Now, this Jefferson, now coached by former longtime North Hall coach Bob Christmas, so a homecoming of sorts for Coach Christmas. West Hall punter Anthony Lottie plucked a page from his dad Tony's playbook. The younger Lottie will go on to punt in college, as did his father. Anthony is committed to play for Wisconsin, going to be a Badger. Gainesville grad Thomas Niles, who will be a senior at Central Florida, is on a very prestigious list. Niles, a defensive end, has reportedly made the Football Writers Association's 81-player list for the Outland Trophy. That's given to the country's best interior lineman. The Times reports that Niles is the first knight in school history to record a sack in 6 straight games. As a junior, Thomas had career bests with 49 tackles, 13 of those for a loss, 7.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And good news for the Clemson Tigers. Former Gainesville quarterback Deshaun Watson has been cleared to play after knee surgery a few months back, and he has been tabbed the Atlantic Coast Conference preseason Player of the Year. Got more camp news for you in just a moment. You've decided it's time to get in shape. Now let Falcon Parkway Fitness in Flowery Branch help you achieve your goals. Open since 2000, Falcon Parkway Fitness features free weights, exercise machines, group fitness classes, as well as personal training in a fun family environment with childcare, lockers, showers, and 24-hour access. Come by for a free consultation with a certified personal trainer. And just next door, check out Optimum Body Care Day Spa with massage, facials, and waxing, or K. Michael's Salon for hair and nail care. Falcon Parkway Fitness is your hometown family gym, located in Flower Branch, right behind the public shopping center. We're back. I'm Gary Glenn. This is Hall County Sports, and we head back to Riverside, but going indoors this time. The recent Champions Wrestling Camp featured some quality instruction, including Kendall Cross, gold medalist in the 1996 Olympics, three-time U.S. national champ, World Cup champ, NCAA champion, as well as Plamen Paskalev, a two-time Olympian and seven-time world placer, and 12-time Bulgarian national champ. Rob Herman, two-time Olympic Greco coach, head coach of the Greco U.S. Olympic Education Center, three-time U.S. World Teams member, and four-time Greco-Roman national champion. Georgia's own Taylor Knapp, the Dave Schultz winner for the state of Georgia, as well as an NCAA All-American, the ACC placer with more than 100 college wins. Ryan Medved, an NCAA qualifier, multiple-time conference finalist, outstanding Georgia high school wrestling career. The camp director now was Jeff Reagan, an All-American at Oklahoma State University, a Big 12 champion, a four-time freestyle All-American, freestyle national champion, and FILA World Team Placer. I talked to him.
Jeff, tell me a little bit about the camp this week here at Riverside.
Well, we had our first annual champion wrestling camps at Riverside Military Academy. We had an Olympic gold medalist, Kendall Cross. We had a two-time Olympic coach, four-time national champion and three-time world placer in Rob Herman, who is the developmental coach at the Olympic Training Center. And we also had Plamen Paskalev, who's a seven-time world placer, two-time Olympic placer. And to top it all off again, that Kendall Cross was just fantastic by being an Olympic gold medalist for the United States in 1996 here in Atlanta. All personal friends of mine. Kendall was one of my training partners back when I was making my first world team. But again, great group of guys getting to expose Georgia to some fantastic international and national level wrestling. We also had a multitude of college All-Americans, college wrestlers from programs like Oklahoma University, the Citadel, where I coached for 14 years. So we're just really excited that we had all the kids that we had all over Alabama, Missouri, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, to get to see this great wrestling this week.
What brought all this about, and why here?
Well, after being at the Citadel for 14 years, I really do respect and enjoy the military aspect. Obviously, my brother being a Citadel grad and being a military pilot now, I really have enjoyed working with those kind of environments. The structure and Riverside contacted me this past summer and asked, would we bring it there, as we've done the camp at the Citadel for 14 years. So I checked out the facilities, loved it, loved the area, and thought, this is a great place that really could use some great wrestling that hasn't had before. So we're really excited that we got a chance to work with Riverside, and we look forward to doing it in the future.
All ages and sizes here, Jeff.
This is a middle school and high school team camp, so our minimum age is 12, but we think at that age you're ready to take on this kind of level of competition as well as technique.
The growth of wrestling in this state has really come on in the last several years, hasn't it?
It has. I'm personally from Florida myself. Georgia and Florida were just growing programs when I came out of Florida. I went on to Oklahoma State University, and people would make fun of me and say, I didn't know they even had wrestling in Florida. Do you wrestle alligators or real people? And I said, no, I'm pretty sure we just wrestle people. But it's grown a lot, and to be honest with you, I've spent the past 17 years of my life trying to grow wrestling in the Southeast. And I did 22 camps last year in 8 different states, all the 8 states in the Southeast. We had over 100 kids in New Orleans. We just did a camp there last week. We're doing several more camps in Georgia and Florida and South Carolina, North Carolina. So again, it's just a pleasure to work with these kids and help grow the state of South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and of course, obviously, Georgia, where I've recently moved to. So I'm excited to continue to help any way I can.
I think the kids got a bunch out of it this week then, huh?
We know, we've just heard rave reviews from parents, coaches, kids about how excited they were to finally get a chance to meet an Olympic gold medalist, an Olympian, Olympic coach. And so we're just happy to bring this great sport to this area.
Are you coming back?
We definitely look forward to trying to work with Riverside in the future.
And it looks like they plan on being back at Riverside next year. Well, the Iron Beast's new digs hosted the Georgia games. Back with that story in just a moment. Hall County Sports is also brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals, and remember, when you go Green Ford. By Turner Wood & Smith, serving the insurance needs of our area for over 100 years. And by McKever Road United Methodist Church on McKever Road in Oakwood. Loving Christ, loving people, and helping people love Christ. We're back. I'm Gary Glenn. This is Hall County Sports. Now, Northeast Georgia weightlifters led the way in the 25th anniversary Georgia Games powerlifting competition held at the Iron Beast Gym in Gainesville back on Saturday, July 18th. It was the 5th straight year for the Iron Beast to host the games, but the first at their new location on Grove Street. Now, Helen's Robert Morrison, who actually trains at the Iron Beast, paced the full power, that's the squat, bench press, and deadlift competition, paced that field with the heaviest squat, deadlift, and total for the day. Lifting in the men's open raw 275-pound weight class, Morrison squatted 565.5, bench pressed 321.5, and deadlifted 615.5 to total 1504.5 pounds. I and my Georgia Iron Dog teammate George Bradley of Gainesville took gold in our respective bench-only categories. George lifted in the equipped Masters men's 148-pound 55-59-year-old class. He pressed 226.5. I lifted in the Raw Masters men's 60 to 64-year-old 220-pound class at a body weight of 204.5 and lifted around 331.5 on the bench press. Now, I think that's an age group personal record. I don't remember doing any better since I turned 60. I was very happy with that. Now, George and I are longtime supporters of the Georgia Games. In fact, we've lifted in most of them over the years, and we're happy to help support them. Now, my press actually was the second heaviest bench press of the day. Brookhaven's Igor Rudik in the men's open 275 plus raw full power weight class pressed 356.5 on his way to a 1229.5 pound total. Also in bench only, Helen's Thaddeus DePascali won the raw men's open 165s gold with a press of 316.5. And my buddy Clarence Smith out of Cleveland took first in the Raw Masters men's 70 to 74 242s with his lift of 246.5. The full power meet actually featured two husband and wife teams. Atlanta's Christie and Martin Dean won the Raw Women's Open 198 plus and Raw Masters men's 40 to 44 220s with their totals of 754.5 and 849.5 respectively. Christy Deans, by the way, was the heaviest total weight lifted for any of the women's divisions. Marietta's Riley and Jared Johnson won the Raw Women's Open 165-pound class and the Men's Raw Open 181s with totals of 689.5 and 1224.5 respectively. Now, the meet's morning session featured competition from the Abilities Unlimited Special Olympians out of Savannah. And leading the way for that group was Chuck Reese in the Raw 275-pound class with a push-pull total of around 608 pounds. It's about 231.5 on the bench and 376.5 on the deadlift. Now, the head coach for the group is Jim Chaplin, who says his folks always really look forward to making the trip to the Georgia Games. All right, Jim, tell me about your meet today. You guys always love to do this, don't you?
We love coming up here. Every time we mention the word Iron Beast, our guys are ready to go. We were ready to come up. We got here last night. We were able to have a good time swimming, and we're ready for the competition early this morning, and everybody did really, really well. Everyone got a total, and everyone got a medal, so they were very, very happy.
What do you think this means to these folks? I mean, they compete year-round, or do they kind of point toward this meet?
They do compete year-round, but there's only about 3 major competitions that we go to, and this is one of the 3 majors that we actually travel for. We have several at our gym, but this is the second biggest that we go to all year. So this is the big one on their list, and they always are ready to come here.
And it's really fun to watch them, isn't it, huh?
Oh, it's amazing, especially when you see one of them break a record and you run and jump and hug and give you a big kiss or something like that. It just warms your heart.
And you got some people who are pretty stout.
Oh, yeah, we do. We had Chuck. He didn't have his best day, but he does about 413 today. He had a little trouble with 400 pounds. But a lot of these guys that are even just starting are getting over 300 pounds, so it's a great accomplishment for them.
All right, good luck. You're going to keep coming back, aren't you?
We're going to keep coming back every single year. Expect us.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
If you want to check out more results and more stuff on the Georgia Games, go to www.georgiagames.org. Back with a lot of wrap-up stuff in just a moment.
There are moments in life that you wish would last forever. Dreams that really do come true. Treasures worth protecting. And a future to prepare for. Turner Wood & Smith is with you every step of the way. Established in the Gainesville area in 1905. Turner Wood & Smith has become Northeast Georgia's largest independent insurance agency by offering professional service at competitive prices. Turner Wood & Smith, ensuring your future since 1905.
We're back. I'm Gary Glenn, Hall County Sports. Lots of stuff to tell you about. Hunter Mallard, the 5A state champion pole vaulter, placed first at the USA TNF Region 4 Championships by vaulting 14.7. You may remember they hit a personal record of 15 even when he won the 5A state championship at the famous Georgia Olympics in Jefferson. Previously placed first at the USA TNF Georgia State Championships, and he's competing in the USA TNF National Junior Olympics in Jacksonville, Florida, that going on through August the 2nd. Well, cycling made a stop in Hall County recently. The Georgia State Championship road race stopped off in Lula. The Times reporting more than 260 racers took part on the course, which was a 12-mile loop. The shortest, the youngest juniors race, was just one loop. The most elite racers, the Pro 1-2 men, raced 7 loops for a total of 85 miles. The elite women raced 5 loops for a total of 61 miles. The category and masters races were distances from 3 laps to 6 laps. Top time for the men turned in by Tim Mondor of Woodstock with a 1:48:42.91. Top woman was Barbara Stella of Lilburn in 2 hours, 3 minutes, 29.21 seconds. Top masters rider Brian Teepin of Alpharetta and 2:45:12.02 and taking the 35-plus category. Complete results for the various categories can be found on the Dingo Race Productions website. It was a nice story in the Times a while back about Lakeview baseball alumnus Ralston Cash. Seems Ralston, who's now pitching at the AA level with Tulsa of the Dodgers organization, sports a distinctive handlebar mustache along the Raleigh Fingers line. It's on mugs and T-shirts sold to raise money for the Ralston Cash Foundation. That's a group which buys Christmas presents for kids whose parents are battling cancer. Well, good on him. Speaking of baseball, the Times All-Area Player of the Year was Gainesville's catcher Michael Curry, a team leader for the state 5A runners-up. In addition to his duties behind the plates, he hit .414 with 15 homers and 44 RBI his senior year. He heads on to the University of Georgia. The Gainesville Braves youth baseball team won the USSSA 9 and under World Series in Orange Beach, Alabama. They went 8-0 in that tournament. Joshua Bull helped them bounce back from a grand slam by the other folks, a Jacksonville, Florida team. He singled, stole second and third, and scored on a wild pitch to give Gainesville the lead back 7-6. Brady Stevens retired 3 straight for the win. By the way, the Gainesville High coach, Jeremy Kemp, also noted by the Times as coach for the Braves as well. Well, 4 of the players on West Hall High School's 2015 state champion soccer team all signed letters of intent to play soccer for Andrew College. Simon Cobian, Ronald Portilla, Ramses Martinez, and Eduardo Lalo Magana all get a shot at playing together at the next level. The Times Soccer Coach of the Year for this past season was their coach, West Hall boss Tim Gale. Players of the Year were for the girls, Chester T goalkeeper Tyler Bennett, who after successful careers in volleyball and basketball came out for soccer and helped the Lady War Eagles into the playoffs. For the boys, it was East Hall's scoring machine Leo Toledo, who tallied 60 goals this past season. Wow. More details on Gainesville's Directors' Cup finish. As you heard outgoing Athletic Director Wayne Vickery remark on a recent show, Gainesville did indeed win their 4th straight Region Directors' Cup ahead of Flowery Branch and Winder. Now, this is sanctioned by the Georgia Athletic Directors Association and ranks the success of all sports programs at the various schools. The Red Elephants, by the way, just missed out on a top 10 finish amongst all 5A schools. The Times noting they ranked number 11. Stars Mill out of Fayetteville won the competition. Gainesville golfer Spencer Ralston, slated to be a senior with the Red Elephants this coming school year, continues to add to his resume. He won 7 tournaments this past high school season and set the school record for stroke average with a 69. He finished 4th at the 5A state tournament and took home all-state honors and the Tommy Aaron Award for low stroke average for the 3rd straight year. All of that made him the Times newspaper's choice for All-Area Boys Golfer of the Year. Now, Spence recently shot 6 under par on the back 9 and finished tied for 2nd in the U.S. Junior Amateur Qualifier in Athens with a 74 and a 65 to total 139, tied with John Mackey and 2 strokes back of winner Will Chandler out of Atlanta. He had an eagle on a par 4 of the 14th. And with the top 4 finish, Ralston played for the 3rd straight time at the U.S. Junior Championship, this one at the Colleton River Plantation Club in Bluffton, South Carolina. Ex-Gainesville High School golfer Jackson Bishop shot his way to the 2015 Gainesville City Championship on the Chattahoochee Golf Course. After a 1-hour weather delay, Bishop posted the final round 2 under par 70 to become the 2015 city champion. Bishop's 54-hole total was 211, that's 5 under par. Ex-teammate Lawson King finished in 2nd place at 215 or 1 under par, 4 shots behind Bishop. Last year's champ Morgan Nix wound up in 3rd place after a tournament-low final round score of 67, finishing with a 218. Past champion Will Peoples finished 4th at 225. 9 local paddlers recently spent time in Montemor o Velho, Portugal, for the Junior and Under-23 World Championships, while 45 local athletes, along with coaches and supporters, went to California to represent the Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club in Gainesville, Hall County at the 2015 USA Canoe Kayak Sprint National Championships. That was held in Chula Vista, California at the Olympic Training Center. Courtney Woodard of Lula and Mae Musselwhite of Gainesville both are 4-H senior equestrian state champions. Woodard also was noted as reserve champ in the senior stock seat division. Susanna McBride was second in the equine photography class. Musselwhite and McBride also picked up other top 10 places in the various divisions, and more than 600 riders competed in Perry. Well, Johnson High's Andrew Jones found himself honored in front of the entire state recently. Access WDUN reporting Jones was among a number of athletes in attendance at the College Football Hall of Fame and Chick-fil-A Fan Experience for the second Georgia Positive Athlete Awards. Student athletes representing 27 different boys and girls high school sports were honored by community leaders and former professional athletes. Jones was named the 2014-2015 state award winner for boys soccer. Over 2,000 nominations from coaches, principals, athletic directors, teachers, and parents were submitted, representing over 150 in public and private schools. Prior to that, the first North Georgia Positive High School Athlete Awards were held recently at Mountain Lake Church in Cumming. Now, let me tell you something about that. Student athletes from Hall and Forsyth counties, representing 24 different boys and girls high school sports, and 2 coaches, honored by the Positive Athlete Georgia. 13 Hall County student athletes won awards, along with recently retired Chester High girls soccer coach Mark Dunn. Over 300 nominations from coaches, principals, athletic directors, teachers, and parents turned in, representing public and private schools in Hall and Forsyth for this particular thing. Former University of Georgia and Pittsburgh Steelers star Hines Ward and local Gainesville businessman Scott Peterson came up with the idea of positive athletes as a movement for more positivity in youth sports. Now, in addition to excellence on the field, each nominated positive athlete was required to show characteristics such as an optimistic attitude, teammate encouragement, servant leadership, heart for others, ability to admit imperfections, giving 100% all the time, and realizing the team is more important than the individual. Well, let me tell you about the North Georgia Region Award winners from Hall County. For football, it was Junior Taekwondo Statham out of West Hall. And for cheerleading, Junior Morgan Burgess of West Hall. For basketball for the boys, it was Senior Hunter Konashevsky out of Flowery Branch. And for the girls, Senior Sidney Cleveland of North Hall. For swimming for the boys, Ronald Stanley, who was a junior from West Hall. And for the girls, Michelle Mix, a junior from Flowery Branch. For the soccer boys, Andrew Jones of Johnson, that we just talked about. He's a senior. And Senior Reed McGuire Flowery Branch for the soccer girls. In tennis for the boys, it was Senior Eduardo Figueroa for Johnson and Senior Hannah Gibson of North Hall. For track for the girls, it was Senior Gabby Castillo of Chestatee, and golf for the girls, Junior Breland Stevens of North Hall. The alternative freshman, Molly Hayes of Johnson. Girls coach, as I said recently, retired Mark Dunn of Chestatee. Great awards for positivity. Well, Brenau University says it'll add junior varsity teams to its intercollegiate athletics program and will pick up about 30 to 40 student athletes in the process. Starting next academic year, the Golden Tigers will pick up second teams in basketball and softball, as well as add a dance unit to its competitive cheerleading team. Brooke Kimball of Flowery Branch among the additions, by the way, to softball there. Well, the Brenau Athletic Director Mike Lockstamper says the total number of student athletes will rise from the 161 it fielded this year to more than 200 on rosters of its 13 different 2015-2016 squads. So that means that now that around 22% of the student body of the 137-year-old women's college at the university will participate in intercollegiate athletics. Meanwhile, Brenau is going to have to replace their conference swimming coach of the year, Blair Buckman, who recently accepted an assistant's job at Division I Dartmouth in the NCAA. That's our show for now. Join us next time right here for more Hall County Sports. I'm Gary Glenn. Evening Sports is also brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals, and remember, when you go Green Ford. By Turner Wood & Smith, serving the insurance needs of our area for over 100 years. And by McKever Road United Methodist Church on McKever Road in Oakwood. Loving Christ, loving people, and helping people love Christ.